Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about how to easily get your ex back. Okay, so this is the best method that I've personally seen to help get your ex back, right? Someone that has dumped you, or maybe you dumped them, whatever it may be. This is the best thing that you can actually do to get your ex back. Okay, so the first thing that you do, or don't do actually, because things that you don't do are just as important as the things that you do. Okay, do, right? So and most of the things that you actually need to do are things that you don't need to do, right? You don't have to do. It's a huge relief to know there's actually minimal steps on your part, so you can just sit back and relax. Okay, because what you've got to understand about your ex is that they're either going to come back or they're not. Okay? And that's really up to them. Okay? You can't change their mind, right? If they love you and care about you, then, that's great. But you can't change their mind if they don't love you or care about you anymore. So, one of the best things that you can do to begin with, right, is to not put up a fight. Now, it may be the case that it's too far gone and you already tried that. Let's say you already maybe begged or you pleaded, you groveled, you tried to save the relationship and you didn't just let it go immediately, which is fine because that's what most people do. But if you are not, then obviously the greatest thing that you can do to begin with is when someone dumps you, when someone doesn't want to be with you anymore, you've got to say something along the lines of, okay, well, that's fine with me because, I would like to be together, but, if you don't want to be with me anymore and you don't love me anymore, then, well, obviously I don't want to be with you either, and I want to be with someone who loves me, and you obviously deserve to be with someone who loves you. So, yeah, if that's the case and you don't love me anymore, then, yeah, it's a good idea that we should go our separate ways. All right, and you see it and you say to them that it is a good idea that you broke up, and you let it go, right, and you walk away. Okay, another thing that you may need to do, though, is you may need to apologize to them. So let's say you acted really poorly in the relationship or after the breakup happened, right? Then you need to apologize for that if you haven't done so already, right? Because, a lot of people ask, okay, so is there a last message that I can send my ex? Yes, the last message you send your ex should be a form of apology if you've done any wrongdoing. Okay, so I'm really sorry for getting really angry when you broke up with me, or I'm really sorry that I did this in the relationship that may have led to the breakup. I just wanted to apologize. You don't have to reply to this message, but I just wanted to extend my apology, and I would just want you to know that I acted poorly, and I'm sorry if it hurt you in any kind of way. You don't need to respond, and I hope you have a good life, and take care of yourself. You need to say something along those lines, okay? And that's how you apologize to your ex via message, if you do want to send them one last message, if you haven't already apologized to them, okay? So what you do after that then is you apply the no contact rule, okay? Now it may be the case after you've apologized to your ex that they reach out to you and they say, oh, thank you for the apology, and maybe they start talking to you, right? Maybe that's all they ever wanted. Maybe all they ever wanted was an apology from you, and that's enough to salvage the relationship, right? Okay, so if they message you and they respond basically to your message and they're asking about you, they're like, hey, how are you? So what have you been up to recently? You can say, oh, yeah, I've been, I'm doing really well. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, I've been doing this. I've been doing that. What about you? And it seems like the conversation is going in a positive direction and they're not asking stuff from you and they don't have any ulterior motives. Like, oh yeah, can you drop off this? Can you sign these divorce papers? Right? But if they're solely, that's not a good sign basically. But if they're solely asking about you, right, and they're just asking about you, how you're doing, what you've been up to, and it's a really positive conversation and they're trying to prolong it, you can then say to them, hey, that was, we should have a catch up and talk about this in person, talk about these things in person. When are you available? Right? And if they want to see you and they maybe want to reconcile, what they'll say is they'll be like, yeah, sure, let's meet up. Okay? So if that's the case, then obviously you can go on like a mini date with them and try and get them back that way. Okay? But if you've sent them the apology text and all that, and they didn't respond, or they just said, okay, thank you for doing so, or thank you for apologizing. They kind of didn't really ask you anything, ask how you were, ask how things are going with you, and it was just sort of like a one-worded or one-sentence response. Then start to apply the no contact rule, I've got plenty of videos on my channel about the no contact rule, so go and please check those out. But you apply the no contact rule, you don't contact your ex. So basically what you're doing is you're waiting for them to message you, to reach out to you first. So you don't like their messages, you don't like their posts on social media, you don't watch their stories, you don't retweet their tweets, you don't have any kind of correspondence with them whatsoever. They have to reach out to you. So that means they have to call you up, or they have to initiate a conversation via message. Okay? But they have to do it. You're not initiating and they respond, they initiate. Okay? So apply the no contact rule, and you're basically doing that forever, because what you're trying to find out is if they care about you or if they don't. Now, if they care about you, they'll come back. Okay? They'll reach out to you eventually. If they don't, you just won't hear from them again, and that leads me on to my next point, which is that you need to move on with your life. So once you start applying the no contact rule, you have to assume that they're not coming back, and that you're just going to move on with your life, right? And one of the best things that you can do is try to improve every facet of your life, to try and think about all the different areas of your life and to improve it. So improve your health. Maybe you want to improve your finances, maybe you want to improve your career, maybe you want to improve your living circumstances, just to have a dream for yourself, basically, of how you would ultimately like your life to be. That could be your lifestyle, it could be the relationships that you have with your friends and your family, right? It could be the career that you're in, and then you work towards that every day to try and create that dream, try and make that dream a reality, okay? And what this does is, if your ex sees or hears through the grapevine that you're doing all these new things, that you're improving your life, that you're thriving, that you're really getting on with things, that you're actually making big changes in your life, then maybe that'll be enough to coerce them to come back, okay? Because once they see that you're actually having a lot of fun, you're doing all these cool things, you're really improving, you're making things great for yourself, and you're really enjoying your life and you're enjoying your lifestyle, then that could be one of those things, a catalyst, basically, to make them come back. Right? Because they're like, oh, well, it seems like they're having a good time. They've improved their life. They're doing really well. I want to be a part of that. Right? Or I could be a part of that, and I wonder what it would be like if I was a part of that still. Right? So that may coerce them to come back. So if they do reach out to you after you've applied the no contact rule, right, you have to be very aware of what their messages are for, right? So again, like if they are talking to you and they just want to know about your life and what you've been up to, that's great. But if they're asking about how you're doing and what you're up to, but then they end the conversation with asking you to do something for them, like drop off their stuff, or maybe it's something to do with any kids that you've got together, right? Or is it to sign the divorce papers? That's not a good sign that they're breaking no contact and want to be with you. It has to be a conversation where they're just solely talking about you, solely trying to make the conversation last longer, right? And they've got no sort of ulterior motive, right? And if you really do want them back, then the best thing that you can do is to ask them when they're available for a catch-up, right? And then see where it goes from there. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.ChristineLoveridge.com, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.